Well, if you're collecting government disability payments, there could be some extra eyes on your social media accounts. That's according to the New York Times. The Times reports the Trump administration is working on a proposal to use Facebook and Twitter to find people who claim Social Security disability benefits but really aren't disabled. For example, if you claim benefits because of a bad back, pictures of you lifting bags of concrete might be a bit problematic. Critics say using social media like this is dangerous. They say photos posted online do not always represent someone's current condition. Joining me now is trial and civil rights attorney Brian Claypool. And the idea here, Brian, I went to the DMV. It took me 3.5 hours to get a driver's license, right? How are they going to get resources to be able to look at people's Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think the first thing we have to look at, though, is can the government use these pictures that you post on social media? My answer to that would be yes, because you relinquish your reasonable right to privacy when you post on social media. So the big question is, how are they going to find these pictures, and what weight, what evidence do you give to those if there's a hearing to deny benefits? And I think that's where you get into a problem, because you've got to have the picture in the proper context. You know, for example, if you're swinging the golf club on the golf course, maybe that doesn't mean you played 18 holes. Maybe you're just trying out your back to see if it can work.
And if you said, look, if you're lifting weights, if you're squatting weights and you got a bad back and you're on disability, are you squatting weights because you can squat weights because your back's not back, or are you rehabilitating your back? So it is about the context. And how are you're talking about trials, you're talking about evidence, you're talking about some major resource to actually punish these people.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, I thought, wow, this is fantastic. We're going to eliminate fraud. Because in the private sector, this already happens a lot. I've been in many cases, for example, the Vegas shooting case that I'm involved in. I've got over 100 clients, and I tell my clients, don't post anything on social media where you're out at an event with a lot of people. But here, how are you going to hire new judges? For example, you're going to have hearings, because you can't just take a picture and then deny somebody benefits. You have substantive due process, but you're going to need more judges. We have witnesses coming in to authenticate pictures. I think the cost of this might overrun the social value.
Which is not to say it's not a problem, because we are, it's $11 billion a month in these disability benefits. $3+ billion of that money we think is fraudulent, or a lot of investigators think is fraudulent. So this is a significant problem.
Well, and that raises a good point. I think what the government has to do is they've got to pick the cases where there might be fraud, where somebody has a lot of benefits they're receiving, and like you said, get the resources out there, find out if they're scamming the system. You can't have every single person who's posting out there not receive benefits. You've got to focus in on the bigger cases.
People are gaming the system, legitimately gaming the system, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian Claypool, good to see you.
Yeah, nice seeing you. Thanks for having me.